Hello. A year ago we left our home in Monmouthshire to start a new adventure in Carmarthenshire. It may only be a couple of hours drive, but this is a world away from our previous home. I'm Zorab and this is Byther Farm. And we moved to this, which is a 4.5 acre site, and there is a further 6.5 acres in a large field at the bottom, which potentially we're going to be renting. The previous owners ran this as an equestrian site, so there were lots of stables, lots of outbuildings, and there had been lots of horses. And that means that the soil was quite compacted, but it also meant that we had some fairly impressive piles of manure. And so in today's video, I want to take you through the process and the changes that we've made on our first year at our new home for Byther Farm.
So here at the back of the future fruit garden, you can see we've got quite a few willow trees, not the twisty willow like we had back in Monmouthshire. These are less twisty, but they will be great for firewood. They're good for coppicing. It's good biofuel.
Today I'm going to make a start on the new vegetable garden. So the first thing that I need to do is to create a compost heap. For our first half a year here, I've designated this area to grow some veg in, and discovered that everywhere here is full of bunnies. So I'm doing an awful lot of preparation in terms of trying to prevent rabbits from being able to get at our crops, as well as trying to get some basics in. We had some fencing people come to put in new gates and fix the fencing. And so they've put in some new fence posts, but not all. So basically they've just replaced the ones we've asked them to.
They've also put in a load of stock fencing so that we can now have animals through between the different fields without the risk of things we don't want going into places we don't want them and eating what they shouldn't.
I've then put down this weed suppressing membrane, and this isn't plastic. This is a heavyweight cornstarch. It will break down over time, but in the meantime it'll give the trees and shrubs that we plant in here a really good fighting chance against all the grasses and wildflowers in the rest of the field. I think I may have made quite a big gardening mistake. Mr. J calls this horsefly alley because actually there are an incredible number of horseflies here, and I react really badly to those bites. So I'm not super inclined to spend a lot of time in this area. And the other issue is that this soil is very compacted, it's very stony. There were horses in here for a very long time, and that just makes everything really hard work. To try and show you the difference between the soil in the vegetable garden, which is very stony, and we had difficulty getting a tree in around there last week.
Oh, this reminds me of when we first moved into the last place.
And what's here?
So this isn't actually too bad as digging soil goes. We've had an awful lot worse. There's not too many stones in here. As you can see, it breaks up quite easily. You might even get lucky, well you might not, and see the occasional worm in here. We have found a few.
So I know it looks a little bit naked over here at the moment,
Just a
but it really won't take very long for the willows to start re-sprouting. And then what we'll have in the spring, instead of just a load of empty trunks with all that growth high up, is we should have lots of this young growth all the way across here, and we'll have a fresh new willow hedge. We're heading into my favourite season of the year. That time between summer and autumn, which I call the pause. I've never had to deal with rabbits before, so this is a whole new experience for me. And one of the things we learnt very rapidly is rabbits eat everything. So it goes down and then it comes across the floor. But I'm also using large metal staples to pin this down. And then and then the grass will grow through it. This plot is 0.56 of an acre, so just over half an acre, and right now this feels like an enormous space to start filling. I'm creating a new strawberry bed. This is an old barn, and we're going to get this ready to house the ducks for the winter. Dave the hero is here today, and he's going to be helping, or I'm saying helping, actually he's going to be doing 99% of it. Around at the back of our house I found these old aviary panels. And so far we've managed to get some panels on each of the 3 openings here. I am so pleased with this. So we have an access door here. We've still got some gaps to fill around the top and up there. We really are making headway in here. So this panel is on and really very secure. Nothing's going to be able to get in at the bottom or at the sides. So that's great news. And likewise at this end, we've made a start on this. So there's a panel at the top here and another one all over the side there to block that in. It's a new growing arch. It's available from Direct Plants, and I'm really pleased to have the first one. Beyond the trees over there is a large field, and then there's some woodland. And I want to make sure that wildlife can travel from that woodland up the side of the hedges to the trees behind us there, and then all the way along the fencing here to the next bit of woodland at the far end of our property. And without a doubt, the best way to do that is to put in some hedging here. I'm rather excited about this. The idea is that they will come as these small trees with guards, with rabbit guards and a stake. So this one is in the duck field, so the ducks shelter is at the top there, although the ducks aren't in the field right now because they're locked down. Winter is such a good time to do projects like this. It is actually quite mild today. It's about 9 degrees, and although it's been cloudy and slightly misty or even foggy for the last couple of days, it is really nice to be able to be out here without having to have loads of waterproofs on. And so my next task is to actually start filling this bed. So I'm going to create an entire garden, not just a veg garden. I'm going to have some ornamentals in here, a tree. I'm going to try and put in a wildlife pond. I just wanted to show you what you could do with quite a small space. So I need to measure this, but I think that's about 12 to 15 feet going that way. And it's going to be as long as the Pony Tunnel, which is 48 feet long. So it's a long, thin space, it's shady, it's at the bottom of the hill, so it's quite damp here for a lot of the time. They aren't necessarily ideal growing conditions, but I'm going to give it a try. I've just taken delivery of a lot of the large fruit trees that are going into the food forest. So not only are they on a pallet, but they're crated as well to protect them. I'm delighted because not only do I get all of these plants, but I also get some more pallets to use in the garden. It's like Christmas. I am so excited. Since I started this garden about a month ago, I've put in this pallet fence, complete with a compost heap there, and put in a couple of larger plants, and I've also created this wildlife pond. Which gives wildlife, particularly frogs and toads, a chance to climb up into the pond and down, but it also means that if anything else falls into the pond, it has the ability to scrabble out again. As yet, there's no further sign of life in here. I need to get in some pond plants and then just wait and hope that the wildlife come. I found this lovely figure hiding under a hedge near our house. I hadn't realised how much concrete really weighed. That was a no mean feat to carry this over. So that's 3 individual nesting boxes. They can each be used by a different couple of sparrows. I'm very excited we're going to be able to get these up today. Last week, just as Storm Eunice was beginning to blow in, we had a man with a digger here for the day doing some bits and pieces for us, and one of those things was to dig out some drainage channels in this area. This is the duck field, and we've created some drainage ditches because it's just so wet here. So in fact there are 3 here at the moment. There will be a 4th, and one goes along horizontally, second one goes along horizontally, and then there's another ditch that joins the 2 at that end, and before too long there'll be another one going in that direction to take the water down to the existing ditches to take the water off the land altogether. I'm fairly sure in the height of summer it won't be long before I'm moaning to you about how dry it is here. But for the majority of the year it is very wet, and whenever there is rain, and it rains right through the summer, this field becomes incredibly soggy, and indeed the veg garden has already been flooded 3 or 4 times. So in here I've put in 54 raspberry plants. In the space between the 2 horizontal ditches, I've started putting in some trees. Yesterday I spent quite a lot of time trying to work out exactly where I wanted the trees to go. I also asked the man with the digger to move a bit of soil here and put it up on the sides to create potentially a pond. But unlike the far end of the food forest where I've put in a wildlife pond, this one doesn't have a very clayey soil, and so the water has drained out of it really very quickly. My project with Dave the Hero this week was to start doing this, and this is the shed that I'm putting in at the end of the shady garden. I've had a net over this bed to stop feline friends and also from rabbits from digging in it. But right now I'm going to take the netting off so we have full access to the bed. Another way to use up these onions is to grow them for seeds for next year. So I'm going to plant some onions close to my veg garden. They're not in the veg garden, but they are really close by, so I will see them and I will be reminded to collect their seed at the right time. Today we're going to do a full plot tour of our new raised bed vegetable garden.